Welcome everybody to season 2 of the Spit Your Game podcast. Today we have a very special episode. When I first started to do this podcast thing, I had two people in mind that I wanted to interview. I had, of course, the home team, Greenwood, Michael Archie. And the next one was a great friend and teammate, Jasper Johnson. When I first met Jasper, we was at a Delta State Jam. He was on the other end shooting. And I asked Coach, I said, Coach, who that is down there? He's like, oh, that's Jasper. I said, Jasper Johnson from Hollandale? He said, yeah. And I said to myself, I said, he was at Southern Miss. I wonder what he's doing here. So I went down there, shook his hand. I said, man, what you doing here, man? He was at Southern Miss. Told me a situation happened at Southern Miss. But he said, I'm here now, and I'm ready to win. And that's exactly what he did. Came to Delta State, led us in scoring, and led us to a GSE conference championship. I remember this time Jasper got this Challenger. He had a truck before, and he ended up getting him a Challenger. And I went to his crib, and I was like, man, what you doing with this small car, man? He was like, man, that car ain't small, man. He said, he got some room for me. I said, nah. He said, come on, let go. Hopped in the car and rolled off. I said, yeah, it do got some room in here. And he was like, yeah. He said, can't nobody fit behind us, but it got some room for me. I said, I bet. So I was like, if this 6'7", 6'8" guy can fit in the Challenger, I know I can. So like a year or two later, I ended up getting me a Challenger. I remember this one time we was at homecoming. We was at his crib and we was going to buy some food. And we was like, yeah, we all pinning up the dough, getting the money together to get some food. He's like, man, here you go. He gave us $100 bill. So we looking at it like, shoot, you want us to bring you the change back? He was like, nah, man, just get whatever you need with it, man. Shoot, I mean, I'm eating, so shoot, just get what you need. And that's just a test of the type of person he was. I mean, for him to just do that, shoot, everybody put their money back in their pocket. And I mean, everybody enjoyed themselves. He was a great guy, great teammate, humble guy. Like I said, get his shirt off his back. He meant a lot to everybody, his community, and the Delta State community. I remember he called me, and he ended up calling me on some more stuff. And I mentioned to him, I said, hey, man, I'm doing this podcast, thinking about doing this podcast. I said, I know I need you to jump on it. He said, oh, man, I got you, man. He said, just let me know. I said, bet, I got you. I said, all right, bet. Unfortunately, the next week, he passed away. I never got that chance to have that interview or talk to him and just get his story, how he lived, how he came up, how he grew up. And so today, not only am I saying a few words, we got some more people that's going to show you how much he meant to them. So without further ado, this is a tribute to the late, great Jasper Johnson. All right, here today I got Ben Guest, who was an assistant coach at Simmons High School. He coached Jasper all 4 of his years, correct?
No, just his senior year.
It's his senior year? Okay.
Yeah.
So he coached him just his senior year. How you doing, Ben?
I'm good. How you doing, Trez?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. So coaching Jasper his senior year, man, how was it coaching a talent like that?
Yeah, I mean, talent-wise, right? 6'6", 6'7", could just shoot from anywhere, make plays from anywhere. But it's interesting. So when I got to Simmons, I was 25 years old, and it was my first time coaching. I was the assistant coach for a legendary Mississippi coach named George Willis, who passed away a few years ago. And when you first start coaching, especially you're in a new community. So I didn't grow up in Mississippi. And now I'm in the Mississippi Delta, small town of Hollandale, teaching. When you first start coaching, there's a lot of insecurity. And I think a lot of young coaches, they get worried about, if I tell the players to do something, will they do it? Right. And you get a lot of young coaches that are really into discipline and so forth. And So when you say how was it coaching Jasper, it was really more like I was learning from Jasper. I was learning from Jasper how to interact with the players, how to interact with people, because Jasper was um, so mature for his age and just had life together. That even though he was 18 and I was 25, he was really somebody that I looked up to as a way to move in the world because he just had a wonderful way of interacting with people, whether it was another athlete, whether it was somebody in school, whether it was a teacher, whether it was an adult, somebody in the community. The way that, and this is one of the main reasons that Jasper is so beloved and so missed, is he could just interact with anybody and make them feel good. And so I didn't coach Jasper. You know, I learned from Jasper ways to interact with other people and be a better coach. It was more like Jasper coached me, really. And I tell people all the time that team had 6 seniors. I just got there. They had lost in the final four the previous 2 seasons. And basically I just had the best seat in the house for that championship season. Just got to watch the team win a championship.
Yeah, great, great season for you all. Did y'all lose a game that year?
Oh yeah, we lost a bunch because Jasper and Jeremy Smith, Mimi, they had been an LB too, maybe I think. But Jasper and Mimi, they had been driving back from a
Oh
road
yeah.
football game, and they got in a car accident. And
Mm-hmm.
both of them were hurt and couldn't start the season. And so we lost some games early. I want to say we lost 7 or 8 or even 9 games the season. It was Mimi once said to me that out of the 3 teams that went to the big house, that was their worst team in terms of talent because they had a
Mm-hmm.
couple of D1 players, Lincoln Smith and 1 or 2 other players that had
Right.
graduated. And then Jasper's obviously coming off this injury from the car accident. Mimi's coming off this injury. But it's the funniest thing, the very first game of the playoffs. So this is the district tournament. The
Mm-hmm.
first, we got a bye in the first round. So the second round of the district tournament, we went to overtime, barely won. And then obviously, if we lose the first game in the district tournament, you're out.
Yes, it's over here.
Barely won. And then we won every game after that by double digits, all the way to the championship.
Yeah,
Go
that's a
figure.
heck of a way, man.
Yeah.
You squeeze by the first game and then just kind of coast on to and win a championship. Him as a player, of course, great person, great talent. But him as a person, how was he off the court?
The best. I'm getting teary eyed just thinking about him. Just the absolute best. And like I knew him in terms of spending time together, just that one year. And then I was, obviously he graduated and went to Southern Miss, and then he got me a job working at Southern Miss for a basketball camp the
Okay,
next summer. So I got to see him a little bit there. And then I don't know that I saw Jasper again until he passed. We stayed in touch on Facebook.
right,
I was coaching overseas in Southern Africa, and I pinged him once about maybe getting him to come play for
yeah,
the team that I was coaching there. And I started the team and I named it the Blue Devils after the Simmons High School Blue
mm-hmm.
Devils, which is the name of the high school team where I
Right,
coached, where Jasper played. But I mean, he was just the best. Like I was saying earlier, he just had a way about him to just make you feel good and make you feel happy. And he had a great sense of humor. I'll give you an example in a second. He had a great sense of humor, but he also knew like who he could tease, who could take it a little bit, who could take it a lot, who couldn't take it. And
mm-hmm.
just, so he was really a gentle person in terms of his interactions with people and just kind of knew what people needed from him or needed, and he could give that to them. I'll give you an example of a sense of humor. So now it's the semifinals and the finals in Jackson for the gold ball, and we were 3A, and so we're at the motel, and we had played earlier, and we won, of course. But at some point, Jasper got a shot blocked. He was going for a layup and got a shot blocked. And so now it's back in the motel, and the guys are playing 2K, and you can spin the camera around and see all the different angles. And so
Right.
somebody gets their shot blocked in 2K, right? So they pause it and they rewind it, and they call Jasper. We call them Julio. They say, Julio, come over and look at this. And so he comes over, and they show him the player getting his shot blocked, and they're like, "That's you." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, he's like, that's funny. Can you spin the camera around a little bit?" So they spin the camera around, and he goes, "See those guys on the bench? That's you." Just quick, just so
Yeah, I'm talking
quick.
about yeah. Quick, fast. Hey, you got to be on your feet. Sometimes you got to be on your feet.
Yeah. And
Man.
all six seniors were close, but I especially think about him and Jeremy, him and
Yeah,
Mimi. I mean, they were so close, and just so supportive of each other. It was just they had a beautiful friendship.
yeah, they did. They did. When I talked to him, he told me about how close they were, and he said he'd been knowing him since '91, and so that's 30 some years. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah,
They said Jasper was. I remember Coach Willis saying this too. Jasper was just this little chubby kid who showed up for Shirt Tail League,
yeah.
and who knew?
And who knew? Um, any last words, Ben?
Um, just reflecting on Jasper and the time I got to spend with him. I just feel lucky. I feel blessed that I got to know him, and like I said at the top, he was really a role model for me, even though he was younger than I was, just in terms of how to treat people and how to interact with people. And he's this huge basketball star and baseball as well. Was a great baseball player in this little tiny town. And it'd be real easy to have a big head and not treat people well or be arrogant. But that wasn't Jasper at all. Jasper was he was genuine. He was so genuine. And I just keep coming back to such a nice, kind person that anybody who interacted with him, they just left feeling better. Left feeling better about themselves. And it's not a lot of people like that in the world. So losing him was a huge loss.
All right, here I got Coach James Green. He coached Jasper his first 2 years at Southern Miss. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Great.
So you recruited Jasper out of coming from Hollandale. What was the recruiting process of getting a talent like Jasper?
Well, obviously we were excited. I really believe, when I think back through the Southern Miss days, and me being from Mississippi, and obviously it was important to recruit the state of Mississippi, and we had a lot of good guys and good players from the state of Mississippi, but to have an opportunity to recruit a guy like Jasper out of high school at that particular time was something a little bit different for us. We had signed high school players. We had signed some junior college players that were very talented, but none coming out of a high school or playing in a AAU program that was probably as talented as Jasper. One, just the size and his skill level and his knowledge of the game. So obviously, once I saw him, I hadn't seen him. Coach Norwood had seen him for a while, and I hadn't seen him. And I think it may have been in Orlando at the AAU stuff. And, when I just looked at his body and then saw that left hand and saw that stroke and
Yeah.
and that was before I saw how he could use his body around the basket and how he could catch it and shoot it from the perimeter, how he could pass it, how he could dribble it. Once I started seeing those things, I knew that we had a guy from within the state that had size, that had skill, and I knew his high school coach,
Okay.
Coach Willis, coached me in the All-Star game way back in 1979. So I knew he played for a really good guy that was a really good coach. And, the type of person that he was, the type of student, and the type of player. We put a lot of energy and effort in trying to get him to be a Golden Eagle, and thankful for us, we were able to do that.
Yes, sir. So you coached him. Like I said, you coached him your first 2 years at the University of Southern Miss. How was he progressing from his freshman year to eventually his sophomore year?
Well, I think he really made some strides after the freshman year. Uh, every freshman has to go through some changes on the floor, and Jasper and we had some other guys that was in that class. Jericus Singleton, I'm sure he talked about Jericus, Jason Forte, and of course he was friends with everybody on the team. Everybody loved him, and he got through the first year, and then the second year he was really, really coming into his own, and did a lot of great things for us. I think the fact that he was left-handed with the size and the skill made him very, very difficult to guard. He was crafty. Obviously after playing a year and understanding the physical demands on the body, I think he got himself into better shape, and just was a joy to watch his growth. And it was joy to have him bring the things to the table that he brought to us. I can remember, he made everybody happy a bunch of times, but we're playing in the conference tournament in Louisville, and we had never beaten Cincinnati. We'd been in some good games, but Jasper had a tip in, had a really nice game that night, but he tipped the ball in, and we beat Cincinnati. We had beaten the other people in the league. It actually had won the league once, but I can just remember seeing that big old smile. It's a picture that I'll see over and over again because the game meant so much to everybody in there. But the fact that our best player was able to carry us through that moment and tip the ball in, and the joy that was on his face. I know he's had a lot of moments since that moment, but I think at that time that was a really special moment for him and for us as a group.
Yes, sir. I can imagine when it beating a Cincinnati team that y'all probably haven't beaten in a while, and to beat them, and I'm sure everybody was ecstatic about that game.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the one thing, and I don't know who all you've had a chance to visit with, but if you visit with anyone in Hattiesburg, anyone that was a part of the Golden Eagle family as a fan or as players, athletes around campus, there's nothing but respect for how Jasper handled himself, how he represented his family. I know Miss Rose, we stayed in contact quite a bit. Even after Jasper left, when I was at Mississippi Valley for a while, I still had some contact with her. And he just came, his family was a wonderful family. They gave him great direction. He played for a great high school coach. It was all that any young man could ask for growing up, is to be grounded in the right things and give you the right direction. And he made the most of that. And I've never heard anybody have anything that was negative to say about Jasper and how he represented his family or the teams that he was involved with. And I'm proud of the fact that when he left Southern Miss, he continued on with his goals, and had a great career at Delta State, and great career after that. And I'm sure he never changed as a person because of how he was grounded. And, the fact that you're doing what you're doing tells me that he's impacted lives in every part of the state that he's been in, and I'm sure beyond, simply because of the personality. And he was just such a pleasure. And we lost him too soon, but he lived his life to the fullest by being the best that he could be. And we're all very fortunate to have had him in our lives for a while.
Yes, sir. Definitely. You have any last words, Coach?
Well, I just again to all of his friends, to his family. Uh, we can't honor his life and the type of person that he was enough. And I can remember getting the news. I was driving, I think, actually recruiting here at Meridian. I had to Jason Forte had called, and I just had to pull off to the side of the road because, just it was one of those things that I'm sure all of us went through that because we lost a great, great human, a really good basketball player, and we're going to miss him, but his legacy will live on through guys like yourself that was his teammates. He was a great friend, and I'm sure he had great friends like yourself.
All right, I have here one of Jasper's college coaches, Coach Connor. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Trez. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So how was the recruiting process of getting Jasper to come over from Southern Miss?
Well, recruiting is unusual and in a lot of different ways and different kids. But, I think Southern Miss, James Green, old coach James Green, who Jasper had a lot of success with. And Jasper was, of course, a Hollandale Simmons Delta guy. And in that old Conference USA with Memphis and Louisville and Cincinnati and Marquette, that was a great basketball league. And, of course, Jasper was a 20-10 guy. And I think that last year, if I'm not mistaken, they won that league or might have won the USA tournament. But Jasper was tremendous and loved Southern Miss. And anyway, but his coach, James Green, who is now the coach at Meridian Junior College, great guy, great coach, does a heck of a job, but he didn't retain his job at Southern, and they hired Larry Eustace, the old coach from Iowa State. And Eustace was a little more fast-paced, press, run, layups, and maybe Jasper quite didn't fit. And there was some rumors, stuff that Eustace had encouraged Jasper to sign pro. And certainly Jasper, as you know, is a pro and was a pro and made a lot of money playing the game. But Eustace maybe wanted faster and more defensive oriented. And Jasper's like, well, I love Southern Miss and I'd like to play my senior year here. And Eustace, I think, kind of maybe pushed him out, possibly, and which I think was a grave mistake, being a guy that loved the university and was a great player and returning great citizen. Anyway, Southern Miss's loss was our gain. And I remember Coach Reeves and I going down and visiting with Jasper and making that plea. And then, of course, that team that he was going to be a part of. So Jasper committed to come on up to the Delta back home and help us try to win a national championship. And I spent a lot of time hunting him an apartment. That Division I blood running through his veins a little bit, had him on the high end of the street. And what we had, it didn't fit, but things worked out. And the rest is history. National Player of the Year, signed by the Los Angeles Lakers, What an incredible season. What an incredible young man. And he meant a lot to so many people. But that's kind of how Jasper got to Delta State. It was just pretty much him coming back home and trying to help the Statesmen win a national championship.
Yeah, we won the conference that year, his first year there. And so that was huge because we was one step. We played Montevallo that year before, and we couldn't just get over that hump. But it seemed like I'll never forget Jasper made that steal in the championship game that year, and the crowd went crazy. Everybody went crazy, and it was like, man, we about to do it finally, you know. And it was a great moment at that time.
Well, let me tell you this. I know that after that season, and certainly I remember too when we were in the second round of the national tournament at our place, packed house. I remember that turnaround baseline jumper, and Jasper never missed it, and he missed it twice. Certainly he was the hub of the wheel. But, you know, that was I remember the NC2A rep that was there. And I remember, you know, they had that office back at the entrance to our locker room. And I remember hearing him on the phone to the powers that be at the NC2A, the national champion hopeful has just been eliminated. And I know that was disappointing for a lot of people, none more than us. But I do want to say this. Then the recruiting period started. And off of that team, we had a bunch of guys signed to professional contracts. And I remember talking with the Los Angeles Lakers front office. And I think it was Mitch Kupchak, the guy. I think it's the guy that is there now. And I remember him saying to me and asking me a little bit about Jasper. I said, well, offensively, he's as good as anybody that I've ever seen play, and feels the game and knows the game and can pass and make others around him better. I said, he's smart enough to know where he's got to be and when he's got to be there. But if there's any weakness, it would be him defensively. But he's smart enough to make up for that. But I remember the Lakers telling me on that phone that Jasper Johnson was, at that moment, the best offensive player on the planet. And you and I have seen him work, and we know that. Yeah. And we know that was at that moment in time. And you know, you've been around long enough, those things come and go. But at that moment in time, the Lakers organization said that he was the best offensive talent on planet Earth. And that's pretty good. Of course, he goes on, plays D-League and tries to make that run. And offensively, no issues. I mean, shucks, Trez, he was averaging 20 of 10 against Louisville, Memphis, Marquette, Cincinnati. I mean, those were top 20 teams, easy. He was doing that, so we know he could do it. But he just where do you guard him? And I think that was the only chink in his armor. And if they, you know, now you can play zone.
Right. Yeah.
He'd still be playing, man. But at that time you couldn't. But Jasper was fun to coach. He was fun to watch. He would work as solid as a young man as you would ever want to be around. He would be somebody that you would want dating your daughter. marrying your daughter. And he was that type of young man.
Yeah, definitely.
I miss him, Trez.
Yeah, man. I think about him. I'm thinking about him a lot, man. I can't lie to you. A lot of times when I hang around with me, Brian, True, we always hung around, and he had moved up to Memphis, and I ended up actually coming up to Memphis. And we ended up hanging out. One time we went to this thing one of my cousins was having. So yeah, man, it was a shocker to me, a shocker to the Delta, and he is truly missed. Coach, I sure appreciate you taking the time out to say those stories, say that story, because that story is actually shocking. I didn't know that, but I sure appreciate you for taking the time out, Coach.
Well, you're welcome, Trez, and I was thankful to have known him, and thankful to have coached him. And at that time and place, I remember this. Hang on. You remember us going down to Florida State, and Florida State, we had the ball down 2 or down 1 with 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. Mm-hmm. And it, and those ACC officials, they went travel, foul. Yeah. They ended up beating us, 9 or 10?
9 or 10, yep, by 9 or 10.
And do you know that Florida State that year beat Duke twice?
Did, yeah. They had a squad. I remember that.
Yeah, but Duke won the national championship that year.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember back.
I think they, I think they did, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know for sure, but they was there. They was Final Four. I know they was Final Four.
Right, and then going down to Lamar with old Billy Tubbs, the old Oklahoma coach.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar won that league. The Southland beat everybody to death.
Yeah, I think they made it to the tournament, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I think they made it a couple of rounds into the national tournament.
They was tough.
We beat them 27 and made them like it. And I can't tell you what Tubbs told me when I went up and got the guarantee check. I can't tell you what he told me.
Yeah.
Your guys were better than our guys.
Yeah, that's the nice way of putting it.
Yeah. I can't tell you what he really said, but Trez, I'm thankful to do this, and don't hesitate. Jasper was as quality as they come, and he's in glory, and he needs to be remembered. And but we need to, like he did. He just went the extra mile and was kind to those that couldn't do anything for him, but he was kind to everybody.
Yes, sir.
And went out of his way to make a difference, a positive difference in people's lives, and that means a lot, says a lot about his character and who he was. And Miss Rose did a good job raising him. So,
great job. All right, I'm here with 3 of Jasper's closest homeboys, and they play ball with him at Delta State. Starting with True. How was it, man? Your first encounter, Jasper, coming to Delta State?
Yeah, so in 2005, man, I came on my first visit, and shoot, man, we just played ball, and man, we went out to eat and just had a long conversation just about just basketball and life itself. And he just wanted me to come down. He said, man, we're gonna be man, really good. So shoot, man, I signed.
Oh, so he the one that really kind of helped you sign, basically. Like,
well, he gave me a little bit of like a little bit of
motivation,
insight. I should say. He's like, man, we're gonna be really good, man. It's gonna be me and this other person, and shoot, man, we gonna be stacked, man. So man, look, man, I was down with it.
Okay. B, How was your first encounter?
I can't really remember my first encounter with him, but what I do remember is like when I did meet him, like how cool he was. Like, I've been hearing about Jasper for forever. I'm from Greenville, he's from Hollandale. So I've been seeing his name in the papers forever, hearing about him. But I never actually met him. So I remember we was at the gym or something like that, just talking with him, just seeing how cool he was, how down to earth he was. Nothing like I expected, for a person to go off who did all what he had done up to that point. I just wasn't expecting him to be that, that type of person. No ego, just cool all the way around the board.
All right. Nix, what you got, man? What was your first encounter?
Well, I've been knowing Jasper in high school. We both played in the same conference in high school back in the days. Back in 98, he was super sophomore. I met him back in high school when he played down in Hollandale, and I played in West Bottom High School. So Jasper's always been pretty cool, man. He always been the type of guy to be outgoing, talking to people and hang out. If you come around him, he's no stranger to nobody. Everybody come around him, man, he have a good time with him. He well missed.
So True, how was it, man, playing ball with him on the court?
Oh man, it was good, man. He got me kicked out of practice one time, man, because we used to argue back and forth all the time about how he didn't want to play no defense.
Yeah.
And I got in trouble in practice one time because of him. I was like, man, look, man, you need to go out your side. He was like, man, and his favorite slogan was, man, if his person scored 25 points, he'll score 35 points. So he never cared about, just stopping the man, because he always felt like he just can't be stopped.
Yeah. He basically outscored the next person.
Yeah.
So Red, how was your first when y'all started hooping together?
Well, when I first started playing with him at Delta State, our first time being on a team together, I know he liked to win. Anybody who like to win, man, I can play with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you play with Jasper, if you ain't playing, he gonna let you know. He got something to say. He's like, hey, what we doing out here? He made everybody competitive when he played over there at Delta State. Matter of fact, we were ranked #1 in the country over there when he played with us. You know what I'm saying? That was a really good year we had that year. So it's always good, man, when we were playing together and had the chance, to enjoy that year. I wish we could have had many more.
Yeah. B, what you got, man? How was your when you was hooping with him?
Man, the thing that stand out the most to me about playing with Jasper is just how smart he is. Like, I don't think anytime he play, he got to be the smartest player on the court. Like, most people you watch him, you're gonna look at how good he shoot. But I just looked at how smart this dude was. Like, he thinking like you think he's just doing something, but at all times he thinking. Always the smartest player on the court. Like, I love playing with Jasper. If I'm going, I'll play with Jasper over just about anybody in the world. Like Jasper, he was that guy for real.
He gonna make it easy on everybody that was on the court.
Everybody. He can pass.
He love to compete.
Yeah, he really was like a point forward, if you could say.
No, you know what? I like as far as pickup, he really took it easy on us by playing on the wing.
Yeah.
If he would post you up, it wouldn't be fair. It
was basically gonna run down on the other end.
It wouldn't be fair.
All right, True, you got any the last words?
Yeah, man. He saved our butts, man, a whole bunch of times, man. In 2005, man. I'm talking about, man. He just always came through, in the clutch. Big shot. He was always hitting it. If he was always making it, or he always made the right pass. And man, look, I always said, if anybody could shoot way better than me, it would be Jasper, man, because he just could fill it up. And look, I always had to, man, tip my hat to him, man. He was a baller. and he always cared about us. He was just a big old guy, a humble guy. He was just one of the boys. Homecoming man. He just wanted to, just be around everybody.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, Nix, what you got, man? Well, in final words.
Yeah, man. I came up with a conclusion, man. Like, for every year homecoming, we're gonna start celebrating him, man. Every year we come to homecoming and get together. This year we're gonna have a Jasper celebration for homecoming this year in November. So anybody that know Jasper want to come out, we're gonna have a celebration on homecoming. Y'all welcome. We're gonna do that this year. Me and the guys gonna get together. We're gonna celebrate this year at homecoming.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, B, you got any last words?
Yeah, Jasper was most definitely like the big bro for sure. Like he got done at Delta State, we still was still there, or whatever. And like he give us everything. Me and True apartment, he basically furnished the apartment, giving us things every year he went overseas. He just donated to all his stuff to everybody. Like anybody that played ball at Delta State or he knew needed something, he took care of everybody. Like that's the type of guy he was. And I'm saying, like, truly, truly, truly missed. Truly missed.
Yeah, I got Larry Brown here, one of Jasper's former teammates. What's going on, Larry?
Everything good, Trez? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm good, man. So, man, you played with Jasper, man. How was he as a teammate having that type of talent next to you, bro?
Man, Jasper was. You knew Jasper. You knew Jasper was a professional basketball player. We knew that ninth grade, because he was special. He was special. I mean, our last year, he got into a car accident. He was hurt. He was playing that whole year with a basically separated shoulder, where his shoulder could go pop in and out of place. He still gave us 27-12. 27-12. Now, Jasper was, anytime we stepped on the court, I looked to the side, we had him. We knew we was gonna win. It was no question we was gonna win. It was just how much. He always breathed confidence in everybody. He always wanted everybody else to get in the game, to shoot. He could have, realistically, Jasper could have scored 30, 35 points easy. But he played the game the right way. He was a great teammate. He always tell you, just, you make a mistake, just forget about it. Next play, next play. He was the epitome of a leader. Great teammate, great friend. And, we miss him every day.
Yeah, man. I know you played with him. Who did y'all play that year? In that y'all made it to the championship game. Who did y'all play that year?
So crazy thing about it, from 10th grade to 12th grade, we made it 10th grade, 11th grade, we lost in the semifinals. 12th grade, we won it. So for like 3 straight years, we was always in the semifinals. 12th grade year, we beat Rosedale for the 4th time. Then we turned around to beat Nettleton for the 2nd time. The Rosedale game, Rosedale actually, they had great, they had Sid and 2 bigs, another guard. The talent level was what for what. The game could go either way, but we had Jasper and they didn't have Jasper. So that was the big difference in that game, because they couldn't contain Jasper. Once we got past Rosedale, we knew it was going to be Nettleton. We jumped out on Nettleton. I think it was about like 20-25 at one point. The game got down to like 10 or 12. We ended up winning by 12. But Nettleton had a kid, I think he was about 6'7". He went to Troy University. Then they had another left-handed kid, about 6'3", 6'4". He was tough. So we beat them twice. We actually beat them our 11th grade year in the regional, I think it was the game to make it to the regional finals. So we beat them last year. Then we turned back around. They was hosting the North Half. So we beat them in the championship game to be the number 1 seed going into Jackson. So we beat them 3 times in the last 2 years. It beat Rosedale 4 times. So the teams we went through, they were tough, but he was the X factor because nobody could match up with him. You couldn't put somebody small on him. You're gonna take him in the post. Put somebody big. He's gonna go right around.
Yeah, he was matchup problem, man. I saw it firsthand. Had to deal with some of it too, practice wise. So I already know, man. He knew how to position his body. He knew how to use that hand as a big. As a big, they tell you to kind of when you do score, you kind of hold off. He knew how to do that. You trying to block his shot, you wasn't gonna block it. No. He had a high release, smooth, left-handed. I mean,
the turnaround jump. Once he gets in the post, the turn. Once he turn around, the jump shot fade away, fall away like dirt.
Man, I put my whole hand in his eyes one time, man. He still made it, man. I walked out like, hey, ain't nothing you can do, man. Ain't nothing you can do.
No, I'm gonna tell you something. So we were playing Leland one night. I think that was our senior year. So he missed a couple shots, whatever. So the coach was like, he ain't that good. He's supposed to be a Danny Does. He not that good. So he looked to the sideline at the coach. Next thing you know, probably the next 3 trips. 3, pull up jump shot. He looked at the coach. That's why I'm a Danny Does. That's what he said. That's why I'm a Danny Does. I think he probably ended up with, I want to say he had 30 that game. Like they said, don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear.
Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. Appreciate that, LB, man. Any last things you got?
That guy was unbelievable. I got a chance to play with. He was the best player I ever played with. Going through, college, living in Vegas, playing rec ball with different NBA players and players that play professional overseas. Living in Florida, same thing, playing with NBA players overseas. He was the best player I ever played against or stepped on the court with. He was just hard to guard. He made the simplest shots easy. He was a great teammate, great friend. We all grew up together. We knew he was the one that was going to make it out. We knew he was the one that was going to make it big. He had a great heart. He had a great heart. He always gave back. And the young kids, he'll, talk to them. He give you the shirt off his back. We still miss him. Hopefully we can retire his jersey. So that'll be the big thing the community can do is give back to him like he gave back.
Definitely. Well, LB, man, I appreciate you, bro.
No problem
for doing this for me. I mean, you grew up with him in the 7 to 8 years, 9 years I knew him. I mean, it's like I knew him my whole life. So
I remember that was my last year at Delta State graduating when he came, he was coming down. He had called me like, I'm transferring to Delta State. I said, for real? He was like, yeah, I'm coming down. And that team right there was that team was better than some D1 team.
It was, man. We barely lost to Florida State, and we beat Lamar. So they was 2 D1s. And then won the conference championship that year, the GSC. And then we lost in the regional. So, but all in all, man, I mean, we hadn't won the conference. They hadn't won the conference in some years.
Yeah.
So adding him to the team.
Oh, man. Yeah, he did it. Once he did his thing. Yeah, It was no question. It was just how many he was gonna get on the given night. That's what that was.
Basically, made it look too easy.
Yeah. He always made that. That's one thing about it. He was smooth and everything was just effortless.
So I got another one of former Jasper's former teammates, Super Ted. Appreciate you joining, bro.
Yeah, no problem, man.
So you played basketball with him, went beside him, hell of a talent. So how he was, man, playing beside a talent like Jasper, man.
Man, you know what, man? I still be thinking about it, like, you know what I'm saying, the old days, bro. Like, and it's still feel like, you know what I'm saying, he here, man. To play beside him was, man, amazing, man. Like, for real, man. He was the type, like, to give you that confidence, to believe, you know what I'm saying, to where you can just zone out in the game, man. I remember my first game, man, and I came off the bench. I think we were playing against, I want to say LaFleur. Man, one of them teams. We were playing one of them teams. I think it was LaFleur County, if I'm not mistaken, man. And I ain't started, so he came, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was going into like the late into the first quarter. He came to the bench and he was like, "Man, get ready." And I was so nervous, you know what I'm saying? I was like, "Damn, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off." But he made me so comfortable to where when I got in the game, I just went crazy, man. I just got into his zone. You know what I'm saying? That's how good of a leader he was. You know what I'm saying? And like as the game went, he kept like shoot it, and he was just setting the perfect screens, man, for me to be able to shoot because he already knew. You know what I'm saying? They knew I can shoot, but they knew like I was kind of nervous, like you know what I'm saying, because it was my first game. But he made me so comfortable to where, man, I just went crazy, man. I scored like what, man? I think like 38. My first game ever playing high school. You know what I'm saying? Because of his leadership, man, and man, one of the greats, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody know, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoever played with him, they know what type of person he was, what type of heart he had, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, it's still not real because he still, like, when he was living, man, he used to always, you know what I'm saying, hit me in the Instagram Messenger and check on me, man. Like, check on me, ask me how me and my family doing. He used to do that on a regular. And I still be going back, you know what I'm saying, looking at his message. Like, you know what I'm saying? The last thing he had messaged me was, man, Ted, man, I'm proud of you, man. Keep going, bro. I'm loving the music. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was one of the ones that believed in me to do what I'm doing now. Because he know I like the music, like in high school. You know what I'm saying? So he, you know what I'm saying, got behind me and started, you know what I'm saying, motivating me in that. So that's why I say, man, he was a great leader, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? A motivator. I barely seen him mad. Like, I don't know, man, I can't count on my finger how many times I seen him get mad about anything. Like, his heart was gold, man. Like, he one on one, man. Like, for real, he really was. Like, you know what I'm saying? A real GOAT.
Yep. And you don't, and around the Delta, you don't throw around the word GOAT.
No, you don't, man.
You know, and see, you've known him since what, grade school, and I met him when he got here at Delta State, and I think it was 04, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 04. He came, and I had already heard about him because I'm the type of person I like to keep up with players that's like Danny does and stuff like that. Because, you know, well, I'm from Greenwood, so, you know, we had Dan does and Mike Archer was our Danny does. And so, I keep up with him and Solomon Forbes and the guy from Leland, the big guy. I think it was Byron. I think it was a big Byron.
Byron. Yeah, Byron.
Yeah. So I'm just keeping up with folks, and I'll follow all the way to Southern Miss. And then I remember going into Delta State gym and seeing him in the gym. I'm like, what are you doing at Delta State? You know?
Yeah.
And coach was like, yeah, he here, and just to meet him, just to talk to him, how humble he was. He could easily been a cocky guy to not care much about knowing how his status was, but he treated you like you was right up there with him.
Facts, man. I'm talking about right on the dot, man. I remember one time, Coach Willis, man, they had the Southern Miss coaches to come down to see Jasper, man, and he made sure, you know what I'm saying, to have me there, man, for them to see me too. And he didn't have to do it, like, you know what I'm saying, but he made sure, you know what I'm saying, I was there, man. And I never forget it, man. I was like, damn, why, you know what I'm saying? Why he picked me to come up in here when he could have picked anybody else? But he made sure for me to be there, man, to meet his coaches and stuff. But he always knew that I didn't want to go to college. He knew that. I always talk like, man, I want to go to Georgia, man. I don't want to play basketball. I don't want to, after I graduate, I just want to go to Georgia and, you know what I'm saying, start my life, you know, and make a family. And he always knew that, but he always tried to push me to go to college. And I told him, nah, I just didn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? But everything that he did, he made sure I did. Even when he went to visit Delta State, we both went to go to Delta State for a visit. And he made that happen for me, man. So that's why I say, man, it's just so real, like, you know what I'm saying, that he's not here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think about him all the time, man. Because, you know what I'm saying, even when he left to go play cross seas, he could have easily forgot about us, man. You know what I'm saying? His teammates. But when he got back, he made sure to touch base with us, man. And, you know what I'm saying, that meant a lot, man. Even when we went to New Orleans on the class trip, he was so, like, humble and, you know what I'm saying, giving to where, man, I told him, I was like, you know what? Because I want to go on the class trip to New Orleans. But he told me, like, nah, man, you got to come, man. Don't worry about nothing. I'm going to take care of everything. And he did that. Like, for real, he ain't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the money to, you know what I'm saying, do what I, you know what I'm saying, I had to take care of, get the stuff I had to take care of. But it was just his heart. You know what I'm saying? He was just a giving and, you know what I'm saying, a good person, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, just hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? I told one of my classmates, Emily, not too long ago, I told her, man, that I still can't, you know what I'm saying, register that, you know what I'm saying, he's not here, man. Like, for real. Like, he was a real leader, man. Like, I tell anybody. Like, people like that's hard to find, man. You know what I'm saying? For him to be so big, you know what I'm saying? You'd think he'll be this big mean guy, but
yeah.
it just wasn't in him. It just wasn't in him to be mean, man. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't. And like you said, heart of gold, man.
Man, for real.
Give you the shirt off his back. So he gave me that we wore the same size shoes. So he would get the plug, little plug at Looking Goods. Yeah. And you know, he only wore shoes like maybe once or twice. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even one for the ones he was hooping in. And he was like, huh, man, he go get these pair of shoes. I'm like, these some brand new phone posits. Like whatever, he probably won like two or three times. He's like, man, I'll get these phones. I don't wear them, man. I get these shoes.
Right.
I'm like, shoot, he appreciate it, bro. Shoot, you know, these
man.
$200 pair of shoes, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
That's him, man. That's him, man. He that type of person. He wants to see everybody have it, man. Everybody. I don't care who around, man. Even my brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knew me, but he still looked out for my brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I was in Georgia, he looked out for them when they was down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just simple stuff, man, that some people wouldn't do. Like, you know what I'm saying? He took out his time to make sure everybody, you know what I'm saying, that he knew, he touched base with. And I know everybody can say the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not easy, man, you know what I'm saying, to try to sit there and make everybody happy, man. You know what I'm saying? But he did. Like, every room he stepped in, you know what I'm saying? You know you're going to recognize him because of his size and then his heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? How could you be mean to a person like that? Right. Even the meanest person, they couldn't be mean to him because, you know what I'm saying, the way he presented himself. Very respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, yeah, man. Like, Hoolie, man. Like, for real, that's my boy, man. I miss him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they don't be knowing, man, what people be really, you know what I'm saying, going through, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I miss that dude, bro. Like, for real, a lot, man.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, because I know he touched a lot of people outside of basketball. And you just got to be sports. I mean, you can be in life. So I appreciate you, bro. Any last words?
Man, hey, like he always told me, man. You know what I'm saying? Strive to be great, man. And you know what I'm saying? Hey, pray, man, and you know, keep going forward, man. Never look back. You know what I'm saying? Those are the words he always, you know what I'm saying, told me and text me and my messenger, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna continue to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep his name alive and, you know, keep it moving, man.
Definitely, man. Long live Big Smooth. We call him Big Smooth. Y'all call him Julio.
Yeah, we call him Julio,
yeah. Hey, I'm here with one of Jasper's former high school teammates, Ricky Fontaine. Ricky, what's going on with you, man?
What's going on, man? Nothing much. Just chilling.
That's good. Appreciate you jumping on, man. So you, let the people know how Jasper was as a teammate and a friend of yours.
All right, so Jasper was like a big brother. Basically, he was a little big brother because I'm older than him, but he was always taller than everybody, so we called him like the little big brother. So Jasper really looked out for us, considering that he was tall and all of us was really small as far as playing ball on the courts and all. So to me, Jasper was a great leader. He was a friend. He was basically like a brother. He always looked out for us. He always just stood up for everything. And he put in a lot of work to become a wonderful basketball player. And as far as I can tell, he really looked out for me because I can tell you about a story about when we was playing our last year and the season had started and I had really just had enough of playing basketball. And I actually was going to quit after a game. I think we had lost the game and I was ready to quit because there was a lot going on in the locker room. So that day I had packed up all my uniforms. I was ready to I said I was done. I told everybody I was done with it. And I was walking in the gym to the coach to give him my uniforms. And before I even made it to the coach, it's like the coach was sitting there waiting on me to bring it, but Julio intervened. So he stopped me. He was like, "Bro, I'm not gonna let you quit. I'm not gonna let you give up on what we build." And he was like, "If you stick around, I guarantee you we're gonna win a championship this year. This is our last year, and I guarantee you we're gonna win it." And I was like, "Nah, bro, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that speech or nothing. I'm just here to give up. I done had enough of it, man. I can do something else." But he was determined not to let me give up. And I kept my uniform. And at the end of the day, we won a basketball championship. And he stuck with his word. He gave it his all for his last year. And that just shows how wonderful as a leader he is and how dedicated he was to his friends and loved everybody.
Yeah, man. I can attest, man. He when he came to Delta State, I said this before. When he came to Delta State, I had already heard about him.
Mm-hmm.
Just through Mississippi, being Danny does and all that. But then just to meet him and hang
Mm-hmm.
out with him, and how humble of a guy he was, genuine. I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like like people said before, give you the clothes off his back if he could. And that attests with what you say how great of a heart he had.
Oh, yeah. Die hard.
Yes, sir. Well, any last words, man? You got?
I just want everybody to know that Julio was a wonderful person, man. He loved hard. He treated everybody like family. And he was going to look out for you if he knew you. Even if he didn't know you, he was going to welcome you with welcome arms like a brother. So I just want everybody to know that he was a loved person, man. And he was a legend in Hollandale, especially on the court.
Definitely. His name still ring bells, man.
Oh,
Name
yeah.
still ring bells. Man, well, Ricky, man, I appreciate you jumping on, man. Uh, Salute to you, bro.
All
Um,
right.
um, thanks for doing it for me, man.
Oh, man, no problem, man. Anything.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir,
you
man.
for doing it, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. He
All right.
he meant a lot to y'all. And the time I know him, the 8 to 9 years, I know probably 10 years I known him. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he probably longer than that, really. But
Oh, okay.
he meant a lot this way too.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. That's good.
Yeah, I got another one Jasper High School teammates, Jeremy Smith, with me today. Jeremy, man, what's good with you?
What's good, Trent? How you doing, man?
Man, I can't complain, can't complain. Yeah, man. So playing with Jasper, man. How was it? Him as a teammate, man, and a friend.
Man, as a friend, I'm gonna start off as a teammate first. Man, that's the best guy to ever play with in structural basketball. Man, he made the game totally easy. He knew every aspect of what you supposed to be doing. He even knew what the defense was supposed to be doing. So we had to counteract to everything you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so as a friend, and you told me earlier you've been knowing him for since how long?
I've been knowing Jasper since '91. Man, we started playing when Jasper moved from Greenville to Hollandale. My uncle was dating his mom, so me and Jasper was friends a long time before we even started playing basketball together. Jasper, we even played on the rival little league team. He played with the Dodgers and I played with the Hawks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all got a long friendship, man.
Long friendship, yeah, man. Jasper, that was my dog, man. He's still my dog to this day.
Yes, sir. You got any stores? I'm sure you got a few stores.
Oh yeah, man. I can remember this one time we was down in Jackson. It was I think it had to be our junior year. We was playing Corinth and we was playing Corinth in the semifinals and Jasper wanted that game so bad. He just wanted that game and he ended up fouling out like towards it was like midway fourth quarter and he was just trying to on the bench, man, he was just trying to wheel us to the end and I can see he just lost his voice and he was just sounding like some type of little girl towards the end. And we were down, but it was just funny how he was talking and everybody we was teasing Jasper that to this day, man. That was just like one of the more sort of surreal stories we had about him.
Okay. Yeah, he playing with him, man, practice or whatever, man. He was always unselfish. He never he wanted everybody. He knew he was the guy, but he also wanted everybody to feel a part of the team too. Because he could have easily been selfish and not want to, saying so-called share the spotlight or thing. But he never was like that.
No, Jasper's a great guy, man. I'm telling you, especially dealing with basketball, why I can put it on this aspect. We would come down to I know we all played together at Delta State. So we would come down to Delta Stadium playing with some of your old teammates, Red and what's his name, Big B
Yeah.
And some other guy. But Jasper would always bring us down. He'd bring his high school guy. It'll be me, him, Ted, Alex. And he wouldn't even get down to the college teammate. He's like, man, I'm wrong with these guys. And just to make it fair. Because if he knew if he were to get on any college guy, it wouldn't be fair with him on the team like that.
You already know. A bunch of All-Americans coming down.
Bunch of All-Americans, basically, yeah. But man, Jasper would give you the shirt off his back. That was the nicest guy in the world, I believe.
I mean, everybody that said the same thing, man. He a giving person, and very unselfish. Didn't just care about. He cared about everybody. It wasn't just all about him. It was about everybody that he hung around.
Everybody, yeah. So like this, man. I've never been to Korea, Argentina, but it feel like I've been there because like every other night he'll call me, tell me about his experience and everything. Even when I had left and went to the service, and he was still back. I just keep calling, hey man, we gonna get this money soon, bro. He said, man, we gonna get. Then he'll be in Argentina. He'll call me every night, telling me about the game he had. He'll be out at the club, letting me just FaceTime. Say, man, you could be right here with me. So like, it feel like I've been to Korea, Argentina. He included me on everything he did on the whole journey with it, that basketball life. But just like this, him being a friend, man, it's the best guy in the world to be a friend with you. I could never do no wrong. He always upheld everything I did, even though I did a bunch of boneheaded stuff. But yeah, boy, it seemed like it's surreal that guy gone so early.
Yeah, it is. Any last memories and moments, man, you got to share with us with him?
Yeah, man. I just wanted everybody just like, man, you never know when your last day here, and he always instills that, man, love your family, put love on your family, love on your friends, because you never know when he's gone. And I never got a chance to tell him that how much he meant to me and how much he helped me through life and everything. But I just want him to know that he was a big part of my life and the man I grew up to be, and I miss him and I love him to this day.
Yes, sir, man. We all miss him, truly. And you've been knowing him for since '91, so I know it took a big chunk out your heart.
Yeah.
All right. Here we got one of Jasper's friends, and they went to the same high school, played basketball around the same time. We got Carl Lucas. Carl, how's it going, man?
Oh yeah, it's going, man. Blessings. Blessing every day. Every day you wake up is a blessing, man. Hate my boy ain't wake up, a couple years ago, but
man.
Putting life in perspective, man, and just taking each day for what it is.
Yes, sir. So, man, as a friend coming from Hollandale, he's from Hollandale, that area, man. How was he as a friend growing up? Y'all played ball around the same time, probably played against each other on the parks and stuff. How was he growing up, man, around the area?
To me, Jasper was always a superstar. You know what I mean? Ever since I've known him, see, when he was a senior, I was a freshman. And he was almost the reason that I didn't play basketball. You know, everybody telling me to go out there, but I feared him, to be honest with you, man. At his senior year, dude was so dominant. You know, and I didn't want to compete with that. But meeting him and getting out there on the court with him, cause like I was B team. I started off on the B team. And just my first time on the court with him, man, like he was so humble. You know, he wasn't trying to go at me. I try to do this and do that. And like, hey, look, Luke, you know, get your feet together. You traveling, you know, little stuff like that. So he wasn't ever trying to, be overbearing or anything like that. You know, the guy pretty much his senior year, he raised me to be who I was coming up. And be honest with you, his senior year.
All right.
So yeah, I definitely looked up to Jasper, man. Like I said, he was a senior, and my first year out there, I played B team. He wore this jersey right here, and
yeah.
Don't tell you can't tell him, but after he graduated, and my sophomore season, I actually wore number 44.
Okay.
Yeah, because he inspired me that much, man.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Real humble dude.
Yeah, he was, man. He was like the ones I've been that's been saying, the ones that's been jumping on, man. Give your shirt off his back, and he'll give you his last if he had it.
Right.
Good dude. You know, his status was so high, but talking to him, you would seem as equal with him.
Man, and it's real, man. Like this dude, he'll jump out and get 35 on you, man. Anytime. But just talking to him, you know, he was down to earth with it. He wasn't never he ain't no big noise talking dude or anything like that. I mean, I remember last time we had this alumni game that he played in. We had him and a couple more guys that was on his team. And that was the biggest turnout that we ever had. You know, just having him on it, myself, and, you know, everybody came out. And that guy came out and balled out, man. And they ended up winning. I felt some type of way about it. He talked a little noise then, but he didn't really just go in depth with it. But it was remarkable, man. You know, he still get it in, but he, you know, just talking to him, he'd just be the calmest dude and the most humblest dude, man. And I know even sometimes, like, even him giving back, we all go to the same barber. We were all going to the same barber, and it'll be about 5 or 6 guys in front of him. Jasper will come in, hey, y'all, I'm going to get my haircut next. I'm paying for everybody's haircut. You know, so he'll pay for everybody in there, you know, pay for all the guys' haircuts. And, you know, just a humble dude, man. You know.
Yeah.
Hate to lose somebody like that.
Yeah, unexpected, young.
Yeah.
Still in the prime of his life.
Yeah.
Definitely a tragedy.
Yeah.
And everybody miss him, man. I know y'all, you've been knowing him before me. Well, like I say, the last I think it was over about 14 some years I've known him since I think 04. And just being around him, I mean, he stayed in Cleveland, and I mean, I'm going to his house every day. What you got going? When I want at work, me and the rest of the guys, we'll go hooping at the Walter Sillers. Yeah. He had the key to the gym. You know, that was his gym. He said he stayed.
Wow.
He said, yeah, and it was it. And so,
you know, I know that.
Yeah, he. I mean, anytime he wanted to hoop, man,
that speaks volumes, though.
It does.
That speaks volumes.
It does, man. I mean, everybody know him. I mean, it's just crazy, man. Any final words, man? Last words, your remembrance, a story when y'all played or something before it's over.
Well, just I remember, although this guy was 6'8",
Right.
whatever he was, man was a dynamic shooter. I call myself a shooter as well.
Yeah.
So we got in the gym one time, just shooting around. I said, man, I'm gonna beat this joker. I never beat Jasper. I never beat him doing anything for one.
Yeah.
I said I'm gonna beat this joker shooting, man. So I got around. I think we were going around the world 5 shots at each spot. I think I had I shot first. I think I had like 18. So Jasper been going. So he was at his fourth spot. I think he only had about. He had, matter of fact, he had 14.
Mm-hmm.
He needed to make all 5 to win.
Right.
I said, "Oh yeah, I got you, bro. I got you." He said,
Yeah.
"Look, you know I was playing with you." Man, that joke got to that last spot, man. I'm talking about knock all of them down. I said, this Negro here, man. All he did was laugh. You know what I'm saying? Can't shook my hand. You know how much he laugh. He gonna laugh.
Oh yeah.
I told you, ain't gonna beat me shooting, Luke. You know. But that dude was a class act, man. That man was a class act.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely, man.
He definitely inspired me, bro. And like I said, one of the biggest thing I know I did, and not looking on today, I know he graduated wearing his jersey, and then next year I know I wore this jersey, man, and because I really, I wanted to be as good as he was. You know what I mean? Because he left a mark, especially at Sumner. His senior year, they won a state championship. My senior year, I won a state championship. So,
okay,
that's my guy, man.
Good way. Okay, here I got Sid Armstrong. Played against Jasper. We went to West Bolivar. Sid, what's going on, man?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, man, it's all good. It's all good.
Right.
Man, how was it, man? I know you told me you played against Jasper 4 times your senior year, man.
Right.
How was it playing against a talent like that, man?
Oh man, it was tough, man. A guy with that size and his shooting ability. I actually met Jasper my 10th grade year when they called him the super sophomore.
Okay.
We were playing then, we was just 10th grade. I was up and coming and he was well established, big newspaper articles. So I remember the day of, I'm like, man, we finna play. Let's see what he got. Let's see what he got. And that's probably the one time I remember that we actually beat them. But like their senior year, we went down to the wire, every game, even in the state semifinals. Like we knew that was the championship game. We can beat that. Whoever won that game was gonna win the championship. Yeah. And they ended up beating us by like 4 or 5 or something like that. But he was a great talent, man. One of the best shooters that I've ever seen, man. I mean, worked hard. It just seemed like it was natural. It seemed like basketball. You just get out the bed and come on, man, let's go shoot. And
no stretching
right. Right, yeah. But other than that, man, other than basketball, a real down to earth guy, man. Jasper. Matter of fact, he spoke at our athletic banquet.
Okay.
Like a year or 2 before he passed, I called him, asked him would he come and speak to some kids for me. He did that for me. And matter of fact, that was the last time I actually seen him.
Okay. And then, hey, and no, I think he was still was he still playing ball at the time or when you gave him a call?
He was still, he was coming to Cleveland still working out, but I think he was actually doing something in Memphis, I want to say.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, moved.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was around the time he moved to Memphis. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He's definitely one of the best big man shooters.
Right. Yeah, but
because usually you're a big man, you ain't got no touch from the outside like that, man.
right.
especially in high school,
Right.
going into college. What I'm saying, around our area, the Delta area.
Right.
But any final words, man? You got?
Just we miss you, Big Smooth. I actually have a story, man. I remember my first year at Mississippi College. I think he had came back to Delta State, and I met a guy that he knew in Jerica Singleton, who was from Clinton.
Okay, yeah.
Man, you from the Delta, man? Jasper? you know, we chopped it up or whatever. He was like, a couple of days later, because Jerika was on the team too. A couple of days later, he was like, man, Jasper told me to keep my eye on you, man. You know, you good people, man. I'm like, man, though, even when I came home during the summer, we always came to Delta State and played ball. You know, I run up on him in Walmart, so we always laughed and joked. I was like, man, what my ring is? You know, because he was I was like, man, what my ring? It's at home, man. It's at home.
He took it.
Right, but talented, man, very talented, very down to earth. And he was a lefty. That what made it, you know, even more special. But gone too soon. You know, gone way too soon. I think he definitely owed, you know, the world a lot more.
Yeah.
So we miss you down here, Jasper. I know you up there showing them how to shoot them threes, man. Man, he was a hell of a talent, man. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir. All right. I got Kobe Harris right here. Played basketball with Jasper his senior year at Delta State. Kobe, how everything going, man?
Man, it's going well, man. Can't complain. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Oh, everything good, brother. Everything
Good,
good.
good, good.
Yeah, so Jasper senior year, he came over to Delta State. He joined us. And us in the senior squad, man. How was it, man? Him coming over and having an impact on the team the way he did.
It's amazing, man. I can't even lie to you, man. Just coming down the summertime when we used to just play pickup, Jasper came along. I know he didn't make his decision yet, but I know us playing in that summer league and seeing the talent that we had probably made his decision a little easier. You know, just looking at the roster that we had set up, there was so many D1 players, prospects that could have played anywhere on that roster. So I think when he came along, it's probably was the best fit for us. Plugged him right in. It's a no-brainer. So.
Yeah, he came right in. It didn't miss a beat.
Not a beat at all.
Because I think that the previous year we had made it to the championship game and we lost to Montevallo.
Yep.
So it's like we needed that extra scoring edge, and
yep.
I think when we got him, that kind of put us over the top.
That definitely put us over the top because you know you was getting buckets when Jasper came in. No matter what time of day, he was gonna hit you for 20, man. So you already knew you had a solid 20 every night for that easily. So just plugging him in right then and there, knowing that we lost in that championship game, and when we signed him, you know the sky was the limit at that point. It was over. So
yeah, it was. Came in, it did his thing. We ended up losing in the regionals to Arkansas. Was it Monticello at home? That was a tough loss. That was a tough loss.
That was tough, bro. I can't even get over that, man. Just losing to a team that we didn't beat 2-3 times over the course of the year, and we turn around and lose that one, man. That was just a tough way to go out, especially at home too. So, and I still think about that, man. We just took them for granted, just because we beat them so many times, but they wanted it more. So, you know, props up to them for that one.
Oh yeah. Chalk up the dub for them. They definitely got it.
No
doubt. Any last words, man, on Jasper's behalf?
No, man, just a great guy, man, all around individual. Just from the time that he came to Delta State, just an all around good person. You could tell he was raised from a good family, had morals, did everything the right way. And if you asked him to do something, he always opened up his hand to be there for you and give advice. So real solid guy, man. Miss him, but great guy.
All right, here we got Dante Stiggers. He was one of Jasper's teammates at Southern Miss and close friend. Hey, Dante, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you having me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, man. Definitely. Man, you was teammates with Jasper at Southern Miss, man. A lot of people knew him from high school and knew him at Delta State, but few people knew him like at Southern Miss, man. How was he at Southern Miss, man?
I mean, he was the like I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same everywhere, dog. He was the light of the campus, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, he already 6'8", you know, big guy. And you know what I'm saying? He had that personality to light up a room, and no matter what, you know, I to kind of describe him, he's like a positive vibe, man. He want to walk, he want to laugh. He, you know what I'm saying? If it's some negative energy type stuff, he's not gonna, feed into that. Like, man, don't worry about that and this and that. He always gonna try to make the next person smile.
Yes, sir, man. He definitely can light up a room, man. Like you say, 6'8", long, big guy, man, and
always joking,
always having fun. You got any little stories, man? Y'all you can share that y'all had at Southern Miss?
Man, there's so many, man. Like to elaborate a little bit at the beginning, man, is like I told you, I'm from Houston, so I came to Southern Miss like pretty much by myself, you know what I mean? And like I said, a lot of guys would go home on the weekends and all of that. And most of the time, Jasper would stay with me on the weekends because, I was there by myself. So he could have went home a lot, but he didn't. He had a car. We stay, watch football. We go to all the Southern Miss football games. Me and him get pizza from Domino's. We had somebody that worked at Domino's, hooked us up with pizza all the time. Man, me and him just stayed and we rolled it out like no matter what. And with basketball, he was amazing. Of course, we all know Jasper was a big fella, and you kind of wonder in your head like, dang, how's he this big? And he probably wasn't even as big as he was at Southern Miss as he was at Delta State as he was at Southern Miss. He was really, really big, so it was a big emphasis on him losing weight, and he did not like that, dog. He didn't like, yeah. And so they was running us like, man, like worse than the track team,
Yeah.
And so funny story is so they assigned me to stay with him. Like we was always together, so I had to watch what he eat. You know what I mean? And so every day I'm with him, so I'm watching what he eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know he doing what he's supposed to, but he wasn't losing weight. We going in the weigh-in, and he was not losing weight. And for a matter of fact, he was gaining a couple pounds. And so they looking at me like, now you supposed to be with him every day. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I'm talking like Smooth. What's up? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It ain't coming off like it's supposed to. This and that and the third. And so one late night, I'm at Sonic. I'm at Sonic late. I'm talking about 2 a.m, and I'm getting me something to eat. And lo and behold, I see his girlfriend he talking to.
Yeah.
And man, I see her ordering so much food, and I look over there. And I say, Sheree, now I know you ain't eating all that food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she already knew where I was going with it. She was like, I just can't let him starve. I was like, God damn, girl, you get me chewed out every day. You know what I'm saying? And so come to find out that he eating goddamn late night Waffle House and Sonic and all this at night, man. But that's my guy, man. For real.
Yeah, and she's sneaking the food.
Man, she's sneaking the food every night, dog. I was one like we was like, wait a minute, we weighing. He could not make the weight that they was asking. And then I was like, man, when I found that, I was like, oh man.
Hey, look, he's sneaking it in, and then he acting like he don't know. I don't know why.
He don't know what, you know what I'm saying? He used to get so mad about that stuff because this ain't got nothing to do with basketball, all this running, man. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? I can hoop. And the crazy thing is that he could score on anybody. So, when it came down to that, it was like he ain't really speaking no lies because it ain't necessarily killing him, but they wanted him to lose weight. So
yeah. He once he got like I was telling you earlier, once he got to Delta State, like he was running out the practices and stuff like that. So by you saying that, I knew it was like he had a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like had
he was pissed when he left. Excuse my French. He wasn't happy, and so I wasn't happy. There was nobody happy, man. Like he was, you don't give away no score like that. As you can see, he had a lengthy professional career. You know what I'm saying? He could get buckets with the best of them. Even in the Conference USA. I mean, if we more than likely we'd have ran our offense through him. We was running our offense through him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was definitely, when you said that, like he running, I knew he was pissed. If he was running by himself, because we had to twist his arm to run. He acted like he was about to die every time. man, on my heart, man, I can't stop. I'm about to stop. And then coach will be getting them like, hey, man, as long as you talking, I know you can breathe. So you know what I'm
Right.
saying? you ain't running hard enough. If you can talk, you know what I'm saying? Your heart ain't
Yeah.
stopping, buddy.
Yeah. Ain't nobody when he got to Delta State, man. I don't know. Like I said, now that you telling me this, I see why he went extra hard because like he was watching what he ate. He was working out, and sure enough, when he went and played overseas,
Yeah,
like I used to
he
go to the
changed. I
school.
remember when he went overseas, he started really like, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
like
he was changing everything.
changing it up, you know.
Yeah, he was out open the refrigerator. He got water, lettuce,
Yeah,
green tea. I'm like, what the
yeah,
world
they be eating
going on, man?
grilled chicken and all that,
Grilled
you know
tea,
what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I will tell you though, man, one thing about Jasper, and like I know me and him, like it was like a brotherhood instantly, dog. Like it was no question. Like when he got some money, you're in college, so you really people, as a college student, you find out like it's hard times in college. No, you know what I'm saying? Scholarship, no scholarship. It was times when, the check didn't, you done ate that check up. You didn't, you know what I'm saying? But we always like it was never like if I had it, he had it, and vice versa. And even to when we both were playing professional basketball, you know what I'm saying? Stuff happened. At times, yeah, hey, man, you shoot me $500, $600. We send each other money. We wire each other money. No questions about whether you're gonna pay it back. None of that. You know what I'm saying? It was just, and it's been like that from day one. Like if we was in college, you know what I'm saying? It was $200, $100, whatever it was. We had it together. You know what I'm saying? And that like that bond that we had, bro, that was crazy because like, and granted, like a lot of us was cool in college, you know what I'm saying, and still are. With me and Jasper was like really, really every day, dog. And like I say, he knew, we know when each other had money, when we didn't, like we would make sure we both were straight all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I never like that was one partner, you know what I'm saying? And we both knew, life be lifing. So
Yeah.
he was overseas, I was overseas hooping.
Yeah.
And so we didn't spend the time that we knew. We had daughters the same age, you know what I'm saying? I think his daughter is senior, my daughter is senior.
Yep. She
So
is.
with how we was moving, we really ain't had the time to really like sit down, take a vacation, and do the stuff that we really wanted to do that we probably would be doing now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which that, I really regret that, more than anything. Of course, we would check up on each other, social media and stuff like that, but we didn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't measured up to what our relationship is, you know what I'm saying? But we know in our heart, we know what it is, you never, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That was my dog, man, like for real.
Yeah, right. I mean, with a bond like that, man, like it could be 2 years you don't speak to him, but once you see him, it's just like
Oh
y'all.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What's understood ain't got to be explained type
it'll
stuff.
be explained exactly. Any last words?
Yeah, man. Just I'm so happy that you're doing something like this, man. To honor him, dog, and I'm glad to be, like I said, at his funeral, man. It was a pleasure to have experienced such an awesome man, dog. And watch him, grow. And like I said, man, we spent some of the toughest and some of the best times of life together. You know what I mean? In Mississippi, like I can't never, I keep his obituary with me in my school, my school binder, man. And I could never forget Jasper, dog, for real. He always got a spot in my heart, man, for real.
All right, today I have a very special guest. I have Jasper's oldest daughter, Aaliyah. Aaliyah, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, and you?
I'm good. I appreciate you for joining and jumping on, doing this for your father. Glad I was able to get in contact with you through your grandmother.
No problem.
Yeah. So what? I know you playing basketball. This is your senior year. What are some things your dad told you about? Playing the game of basketball.
A lot of things. My dad told me a lot of things about playing basketball. That was his sport. But I can say that the biggest thing that he taught me was being explosive and being all around. He always worked me in every spot of the court, not only just shooting, playing down low. He worked on me being a passer, reading, being able to play good defense. He taught me because sometimes most of your points are gonna come from playing on defense, and he just taught me how to be well rounded. If they stop me from shooting, I need to know how to drive and get to the goal, jump shot, drop step, and all that. He said I just need to know how to think, and if they stop me completely, if they stop me from doing everything, I need to know how to help my teammate. I need to know how to be a good teammate, know how to communicate.
That's basically how he played, and
Yeah,
he wasn't selfish at all. He
yeah,
was gonna score his 30 and help his
and yeah.
teammates win.
He
Uh,
always he always taught me that how to get mine and help my team too.
yeah, definitely. You have any other, but besides the sports, you have any good stories you got with you hanging out with your dad?
Um, I
I'm
could
sure he probably got on you or something like that.
yeah, I could say one story was I was having a game and I hadn't had a good day prior to that game, and I kind of took the attitude that I had onto the court and stuff like that. And the way that he wanted me to put it, he wanted me to take that attitude and go hard. He wanted me to take that attitude and score, play aggressive and stuff like that. And I kind of went out there. I had attitude. I wasn't playing right and stuff like that. Um, I don't know. It was halftime. My dad had came down. Like I didn't see him come down, but I know my dad came down. And he kind of like snatched me from the back. Like, what you got going? And I was like, what you talking about? I ain't even in the mood right now. He was like, I don't care what you in the mood for. He
Yeah.
was like, only you playing and you making yourself look bad. He was like, you making your team look bad. He was like, you making me look bad. You making your school. He was like, I don't know what you mad for. I don't know what you went through today. I don't know who made you mad, what upset you, but they whoever done upset you, what you need to do, you supposed to been took that energy and put it out there on the court. They shouldn't have been able to stop you. Like when I play and I'm mad, ain't nobody stopping me. I'm gonna get my 30 plus some more.
Mm-hmm.
It was just he was on me and stuff like that. He was most definitely telling me I was being a bad teammate. He was
Yeah.
like, my team is not only am I playing for myself and playing because I enjoy the sport, but my team depending on me too. Like they want to win, and
Mm-hmm.
the way I was playing, what I was doing out there, I wasn't being a big assist. I wasn't being a big help to
Mm-hmm.
play to help my team win that game because we was down. And all I know is I went back out there like my dad. He ain't never just whoop me, but my dad was a big guy, so he was
Yeah.
intimidating.
Yeah.
All it took for him was to fuss a little bit.
Yeah.
And then,
You knew he wasn't playing then.
yeah, I knew he wasn't playing. Once my dad like standing over me, and he had that white towel in his hand, and he'd wipe his forehead with his hand on my shoulder. And, oh, I know it's on then. He'll
Yeah.
raise his voice. I know what's going on then. And like
Yeah.
he stayed like when he was staying in Cleveland, and I used to go visit him. I think like we spent half our day at Delta State in the gym. I remember like sitting around in the gym, running around and stuff like that, playing in the bleachers and stuff like that, or sitting in the weight room with him because he spent I'll say 65, 70% of his day in the gym. He will go run in the morning, then he'll go hit the weight room, and then he'll come back, put some shots up, and then run again. And, he was
Yeah.
very to the sport, very
Yeah.
dedicated. He always told me like I have to be disciplined. I got to be able to work when my coach ain't looking and when my team ain't around to make myself better so I can help my team more. And he was a very good person for many.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's definitely. I'm a test to him. Like I stayed in Cleveland, shoot, right down the street, really right down the road from him. I stayed at his crib. We hung out, went out, played ball together, me and a couple more guys. So I mean, and he was a teammate, so he definitely touched everybody that he was around. Like a lot of people on here were saying, he'll give you shirt off his back.
Yeah, definitely. He taught me that's one of the things that like he put inside of me to, always, don't look down on nobody just because my situation may be better than theirs and stuff like that. Be willing to help people because, he always taught me helping people, that's where your blessing come from. And you never know who watching. So growing up, me helping people now, because some people, they good at something, they try to act a little above people and stuff like that. He humble. No matter how no matter how big I got, I know my dad was coming home. Not only was he being a father, it was a lot of more other kids that saw my dad as a father figure. Not only on the court, on the court, but off the court too. Like I know it was plenty kids. Like I said, a couple months before he passed, there was this little boy on live singing in church, and he had on some tennis shoes. He was short, nice
Yeah.
suit. He had on some tennis shoes, and my dad, took out his time to go buy the boy some church shoes and stuff like that.
Oh
Man,
wow.
ice and stuff like that. He was very big on giving back to his community and all that.
Yeah.
Like they was holding camps. My dad come down here for free, come work with these kids. Well, he didn't have to. He
Right.
doing anything else. Like even when he moved to Memphis, he was always coming back and just giving back to his community in any way that he could. He was just talking to somebody, or giving
Right.
just anything. I'm so glad that he he put that in me. A lot of discipline and
Yeah.
being. His primary sport was basketball, and I could say that like I'm good at basketball. You can like I play when I'm playing and I'm focusing on it. You can definitely tell who my father is. But
Okay. And
my
what school you playing for?
Simmons High School in
Simmons. Okay, you Simmons. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay.
like, but my primary sport I'll say is track. But even with my best sport being track, he always taught me discipline. He was like, if you gonna run, you need to get up in the morning. You need to go run. You need to watch how you eat. He always made sure that anything that I did, if it was in class, on the court, on the track, just being out in the community, he was like, I was gonna do it. I was gonna do it right, and I was gonna do it respectfully. So
Yeah.
he helped me become a good person. I like the things that he taught me. I still look up to him. Like some of the things that he tell me, cause growing up, he played basketball overseas for like a long time. So for I wouldn't see him for 8 or 9 months at a time, stuff like that. But he always made sure I was straight. He always came down here and stuff like that. Especially when I caught myself having a little attitude, he always like I said, he never whooped me or anything. He ain't believe in that because he was like, I'm too big to be whooping my kids.
Yeah.
But him yelling, him talking to you firmly.
That's all it took.
That's all it took. Anytime
Yeah.
he called me a Lil, I knew then like whatever we was joking about, that was the end of it.
So what? So what he usually call? What's your nickname? What he call
Lil Bug.
you?
He
Okay.
used to be so embarrassing. He always called me Lil Bug. Like dang, stuff like that. Lil Bug. Come to my track meets, he yelling Lil Bug.
Oh man. Oh no. I already know. I know you in there like this. Oh my
Oh,
God.
like yeah, like anytime, like, my dad, he had like a deep voice, and we got
Yeah.
loud. So like I hear him over anybody, and it'll be so embarrassing. It'll be so embarrassing.
Well, he tall and got deep voice, so you
Yeah,
already know.
so like
Everybody knew him.
everybody knew who it was, and
Yeah.
everybody knew his daughter, so they knew who he was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, but anytime I knew when he hit me with that Aaliyah, I know. Like I knew what it was. I knew it was time for the jokes to stop playing.
Yeah. It was
He
game
came,
time then.
yeah, he came and saw me play in Valley because I was in like a Christmas tournament with my high school team.
Mhm.
He came, this was before he passed. He came and saw me in Valley, and man, there was a Christmas before he passed. I'm up there, and I had twisted my ankle, because
Mhm.
I'm playing against a big girl. Sometimes I play down low. I'm not. I don't know if you can tell. I ain't big by a long shot.
Okay.
Like I got a little height on me and I can jump. So
Mhm.
they have me playing down low, and I the girl ended up stepping on my ankle, and I twist my ankle, and
Mhm.
like I got a little temper on me, so I got mad and stuff like that. And my
Yeah.
dad was mad because the girl stepped on me because she saw me, but he was more mad at me on how I reacted. He was just telling me, you don't never know who watching. He was like, it can be in the college in here watching you play right now. And the attitude that you're giving off, ain't nobody gonna want to deal with you. And the scholarship that they thought about giving you is gone because of the attitude that I was giving off.
Attitude. Right.
So
Right.
like that whole game, he was yelling like, "Let's go, little boy!" But I know I was giving off that attitude, and I started playing dirty. And all I know is I heard Aaliyah, and I was like,
Yeah. You know what's up then.
"Yeah."
Yeah. Okay. Then did any colleges you plan on? You got any looks of the
I got
colleges?
I got looks on college, and not for basketball. I don't see myself going to college to play
Okay.
basketball. I always told him that, but I got a lot of colleges looking at me for track, and my
Okay.
dad my dad was very, very proud of me for that. Like, there's something like he loved to see me do. He loved to see me run. Two things like my dad loved to see me do a lot was run and sing. He loved to see me do those two.
Okay.
A lot of different schools looking at me for that, and going into like me and my dad, all we talked about was my senior year. Like, oh, when we get to your senior year, we're gonna line up these colleges and see who could give out the best offer and stuff like that, and who got your major and stuff. He was very big on like where I was gonna go, and he wanted me to go to Southern because that's where he went to before
Right.
he Delta State.
Yeah.
So that's a very big. Not only do they have a good track program, but they have a good medicine program what I want to go to school for, and not only that, they have talked to me about coming to play basketball there. So
Okay. Okay, that's good. Congratulations on that. I hope you end up going to Southern Miss because another legacy going to Southern Miss behind our father it'll be a great thing.
yeah, some big
Uh,
deal.
oh yeah, huge size 15 size because I
Man,
was the same size he wore. He used to give me some of his when he because I'm sure he had a whole bunch of shoes and he only wore them every now and again.
yeah,
And he gave me a pair of his phone pauses. He was like, "Man, I got some phone pauses I don't even wear, man." I was like, "Yeah, give them to me." And he
yeah.
gave it to me just like it wasn't nothing, man. Yep. I mean,
Like I said, he'll give you shoes off his feet, the clothes off his back, anything.
mhm,
Money, his last, he'll give it to you, anything. Like
yeah.
some big shoes to feel like when he passed away, I think I found some shoes in my room, size 17. And I'm like, Lord, these like people be telling me you got some big shoes to feel. Literally, I do.
literally, yeah, literally. Uh, any last memories you have of your father before he passed?
The last memory I had, like the day before he passed, that morning he passed on the 27th, on the 26th. Me and my dad, like my dad know I love him, and
Hmm.
I love me, but we didn't say it to each other often. Like we
Hmm.
weren't big on showing emotion.
Hmm.
But I say like that day before he passed that morning, I was at a water park. So when I got back to my phone, he had already passed when I got back to my phone, but I didn't know that. But
Right,
he was like, I love you and I'm proud of you. Cause he didn't really tell it to me often. It was like every blue moon. He was like, I
right,
love
right.
and I'm proud of you and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And, he was just basically saying like he stayed in Memphis, I stayed in Holiday, I stayed with his mother. He was basically saying I'm gonna start coming down to make more time to see you and stuff like that, hang with you and stuff. Cause as I got older, I guess you could say I was becoming a teenager, and I was kind of like
Yeah, yeah.
my dad was busy too. He had two other kids behind me, so
Right.
they young, they 7 and 5 now. So at that time,
Mhm.
real young. So he
Right.
was spending time with them. But the last thing I know, him texting me, he was just like, he was just really happy with life, everything. He was telling me about how he loved his boys and stuff like that. I didn't know you personally, but he always mentioned you and some other dudes from Delta State, like
Yeah. Okay.
just some other guys. He was just telling me how he was happy. He fulfilled his dream of playing basketball overseas, playing basketball how long he did and stuff like that. And he loved the guys that he came across in his career, but he was basically telling me the rest of his life was dedicated to raising me and my little brother, my little sister, making sure that we had a good life and making sure that we had a better life than he did growing up. So
Okay.
I could just say that he was very happy in life when he passed away. And he was a fantastic guy. Anybody that got to meet him, that had him in his life, even if it was just for a couple hours, would say that he
Yeah,
was a great person,
definitely.
great teammate, great friend, father, brother, anything,
Everything.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaliyah, I appreciate you for doing this. I'm glad I got a chance to reach out to you. You enlightened us on a lot of things that your father done. Um, he meant a whole lot to everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody that he touched, like you just said, he was a humble guy, big guy. I'm 6'6", he's 6'7". He probably like maybe an inch taller than me, but
yeah. I think
he was a
I think he
huh
was. I think he was like 6'8". He was
6'8",
6.
yeah, 6'7", 6'8", yep. And but yeah, he was humble guy, down to earth. I mean, he could have been the guy that was so good that he didn't have to talk to the other people, but
Yeah,
he didn't care if you was the last person on the bench or the middle person or whoever it was. Like he always talked to you and treated you the same.
like
So
I think on his obituary they put this giant teddy bear because that's definitely what he was.
yeah,
His
definitely.
he guys could be intimidating, but he was just as sweet and humble and
Always smile. Always smile.
always smiling and everything. He didn't think he was better than nobody. Another thing, my dad used to always, I got a big mouth. I love the trash talk. My dad like, you ain't gotta talk. You ain't gotta talk at all. You
Yeah,
ain't
he
gotta.
don't say too much. He a silent killer. He
Yeah,
going there. He gonna score his 30 and he ain't gonna hear a word from him.
not at all. So he was definitely a fantastic person. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that my dad had touched so many lives, and he meant so much to a lot of people until I was on the day of his funeral. I was very hurt and devastated. Like I was heartbroken because that was my dad. Like that was my best friend. That was my person before anything. My dad played. Not only did he play the father role in my life, but my dad played the mother role in my life sometimes too. So
Right.
he meant a lot to me. So I didn't know, like, when he passed away, I was very hurt and sad at his funeral. But how they packed out the church and people standing outside the church, he touched so many lives that like I couldn't too much be sad and hurt in that moment. Like I was hurt, but I couldn't too much just cry because seeing all the people that he had affected and stuff like that in a positive way, that meant me.
Oh yeah.
I love you, Dad, and I miss you.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell
You know what I'm saying? That
all
what we
about
do,
it
you know what I'm
when I
saying? Riding around in
see
Challenger.
you
You
again.
know what I'm saying? My boy
We've
B
come
about
a
to surprise my
long
boy Jasper
way
with the Challenger.
from where we began.
No, not the
Oh,
apartment.
I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Jay.
When I see you again.
This nigga taking the shit.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began.
You know we started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Let me tell you.
When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. And what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond. And that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn. And that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell